All right. Well, I'm on my way to work, so I'm going to do a little bit of venting today. Just based on a lot of stuff that's going on in the news today. Going to get into a little bit. If for whatever reason you guys find my video, just go ahead, like it, post a comment. If I see it, I'll go and respond to it. Send me hate mail, send me love mail, send me no mail, send me some mail. I don't care. So as anybody who really knows me knows I'm no fan of Trump. Not necessarily as far as hate him as far as like a person, but more where his values are, where he comes from, how he acts, how he treats people. And it isn't just since he started running president. It's been ever since I've discovered who he actually was. And if you really want to find out who this man is, all you got to do is go on YouTube or go on the internet, Google it. Google Donald Trump and his Howard Stern show appearances. You want to find out who this guy is? Look at those appearances and you'll find out. Look on any TV show where it tends to sometimes get a little raunchy. You're able to let loose a little bit. Any appearance on any show, whether radio or TV, and you'll find out who he is. Google news stories about how he did business in his real estate and building these buildings, slapping his name on the side of the building, how he treated workers, how he treats women with especially with the Miss America pageants, Teen America pageants. So you know who so you can figure out who this man is. And you'll know who this guy is right off the bat. For me, he doesn't have very much morals. He is all about himself. Fully and foremost above anybody and everybody. He holds himself above any of his wives, any of his children, anybody who's worked with. I'm pretty sure he put himself above his own parents if they were still alive. So that's just who Donald Trump is. Cares about himself, damned everybody else. And if you're not speaking good on Donald Trump don't care about you. If you're not contributing to his bottom line, or even now more recently to his to the office of which he holds, still refuse to call him a president. Refuse to do it. He doesn't act it. He hasn't earned it. This man, well, takes the cake this morning. So, as many of you may already know, I believe her name, Theta Grunberg, I believe her name. And if anybody gets offended if I mispronounce her name, I'm sorry. She's this European girl, 16-year-old girl. She's on the autism spectrum, has Asperger's, so she has a bit of a speech impediment. She doesn't talk as freely as some people would normally do. So she has a little bit of difficulties, but she made news this year. She made news by starting to take the lead on becoming a climate change activist for youth, getting youth involved in this, getting the 18-year-olds to go ahead and register to vote, just speaking all over the world and just becoming an overall activist and bringing to the forefront stuff that's going on. No problem. 16-year-old getting involved. Hey, that's a good thing. Better than sitting down with the iPhone or whatever electronics, just playing around video games this out of the other. She's actually taking on a huge project, and what we'll call it a project, and she's going ahead and being productive. You can't knock a teenager for being productive. But for all her efforts, she was awarded Time's Person of the Year this year. That happened earlier today. So shortly after Time announced that, put the cover out on a lot of their social media, on their websites, Donald Trump. Now, anybody want to guess what he did? You thought he took the high road, maybe congratulated her, like, hey, this is how we want our youth to be involved, be positive, do something productive with their lives, and using her as an example to go ahead, hey, even if you're on the spectrum, even if you have these difficulties in your life, you can go ahead and still make a difference. You think he did that? No. He couldn't help himself. So if you pay attention to Donald Trump, whether even just for a couple minutes, maybe just with the news bites on your local news, national news, on the radio, clips you maybe see on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or what have you, however you're able to go ahead and see what he goes on, you know he's a bit of a bully. I'm sorry, not a bit of a bully. He's just a flat-out bully. I don't like bullies. He doesn't hesitate to go ahead and go after somebody. And I'm not just talking about maybe, okay, just have a debate on some views, politically, stuff that's going on in the news, what have you. No. You speak out against him, it's almost as if you're, he's taking it as a low blow and he's going to go to punch you in the nuts, so to speak. So he went after Miss Grunberg. Basically called her a disgrace and mocked her, mocked the way she speaks. Saying she has anger management and just completely mocked her. Just completely despicable tweet. Don't believe me? Go look for it. It's on his Twitter page. But you're going to have a little bit of difficulties today with it. You have to do some searching. Because maybe about a good 6 hours. It looks like he was on Twitter for 6 hours straight. Tweeting, retweeting, and also retweeting an image of somebody from his team. It's got that blue Twitter check mark, where it's got Trump's head on Miss Grunberg's body on the Time cover magazine. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, it wasn't that long ago that same account, I believe, photoshopped his head on Rocky Balboa's body. The Sylvester Stallone from the movie. It looks like from Rocky 2, I think it is. And then they had the nerve to say, oh yeah, that was him when Trump was boxing. Trump never boxed a day in his damn life. He maybe put something in a box, but that's about the extent of him being a boxer. He's one of the laziest fat dotards I've ever seen. So he goes after her. Really? Hey, Melania, be best? Huh? Yeah? No? Keep in mind, if you don't know what the be best thing is, every first lady, as far as memory as I go back, maybe going back to Eleanor Roosevelt, FDR's wife, has taken up as some sort of a project. Melania evidently was supposed to be taking on bullying. That message was, be best. But yet you see what Donald Trump has been doing. He's a big bully. Bullies everywhere he possibly can. Talks mess. Makes it personal. You know, Creepy Joe, Pocahontas, Sleepy Joe, you name it. All you have to do is just basically just Google it and you can see his history of bullying people and creating nicknames for these people. Crazy Bernie, you name it. You find a person, he's got a nickname for them somewhere. He's bullying a 16-year-old girl. And of course she fired back, but not in the way you may think. She took his tweet, turned it around, put it in her Twitter bio, and owned him. Go look that up too. It's out there. Why do I bring up that part? Other than for the obvious reasons, to bring up this. Remember, what was that? What was it, about a week ago? Where the the House Judiciary Committee had the 3 or 4 constitutional experts that they called, and one of them was making reference to Trump's belief that in Article 2 of the Constitution gives him power to do anything he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants. And this person was speaking, and they made mention that, well, yes, Donald Trump believes he has these powers, but in reality he does not. He cannot go ahead and say, use his son Barron, and to make him a Baron. That was it. Didn't make fun of his son, didn't do anything like that. And then there was this Fuhrer on the right talking about, oh my God, she was mocking him. She was doing this. She brought up his 13-year-old son, yada, 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 yada. Whatever. I had no problem with them bringing it up. Wasn't making fun of the kid. Was just doing a bit of a wordplay on his name to make a point. Fine. Could she have not done that? Yeah. Did she need to do it? No. So, I'm fine that she did it. I'm fine that it would have been fine if she hadn't used it. So, it is what it is. It's not a big thing for me. But they were just not a week ago. Republicans were all up the wall. Vice President Mike Pence. Everybody's like, oh my God. They were attacking this lady. Bullying her right back down. She, of course, issued an apology. And I don't believe that she needed to. But, no, it is what it is. And here we go with him basically actually bullying a 16-year-old. Making fun of, mocking how she speaks. 16-year-old girl with Asperger's that is on the spectrum. Really? But not one of those people on the right are speaking out about what Donald Trump did. Not one. And you know what? I guarantee they won't. They ain't gonna. They've sold their souls to Donald Trump. Lindsey Graham said while Trump was running in the last election, when it was candidate Trump, if Donald Trump is elected, he will be the death of the Republican Party. He said that. Don't believe me? Google it. Not hard to find. There are plenty of videos of Lindsey Graham speaking out against Donald Trump. Even though now he's basically licking the bottom of Donald Trump's boots. Go figure. But in other news today, well, before I get into other news, there is an interesting book that is out that literally just came out. I believe it's by an author named David Bergen. Bergen. The name of the book escapes me at the moment, but Google it, you'll be able to find it. I'm going to pick it up over the weekend, and that's what's going to be my reading for the next week. Now, I believe this gentleman has written on Donald Trump before, and used his sources from inside the administration to write about what's going on, stuff that the public doesn't normally see and catch. So this book details a lot of what's Donald Trump's meetings with a lot of foreign leaders, Kim Jong-un, the Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, and the Ukrainian president, I believe, I don't remember his first name, but President Zelensky. And how a lot of the transcripts and everything has been taken and put into this server that we keep hearing about, where all this stuff that all the wrongdoing that Donald Trump is saying and doing is going there. And ironically, I wish I could go ahead and get a picture of this plate for you guys. I'll flip this camera around real quick, driving. But got a dark gray Toyota Sienna, probably maybe 2012, 2013 version. The plate, MAGA 3. And it's one of those California plates where it's the old school one that they brought back, the black and yellow one. Yeah. But yeah, but the book. Go back to the book. In a couple of the instances, detailed Trump's conversations with Vladimir Putin. Now, keep in mind, most of these conversations, there is no American transcripting these conversations, but he allows a Russian transcriber to go ahead and do it. Don't know why, but more often than not, we don't get the records. They're not put into into the National Archives, where they would normally go. Now, if they had classified information in them, they'd be classified, but so nobody would be able to see them until they're unclassified, years and probably decades down the road. Now, there are a couple of conversations where Trump is asking Vladimir Putin how he should go ahead and act with certain countries, and basically asking him how should he set up foreign policy. One of these was with North Korea. And this is before Trump and Kim Jong-un started having this on again, off again, love-hate relationship. Right now it's hate, evidently, because Kim Jong-un is back to calling Donald Trump dotard. Yeah, no respect there, huh? And that's happening all over again. So he asked how he should treat Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Why are we letting the Russian president dictate foreign policy? Why would a president of the United States let any other country, whether they're hostile against us or one of our friends or whatnot, dictate policy of how we treat another country? Why? This is what every president since George Washington has had. Every president has their own experts. They're foreign policy experts. People who live, breathe, study, are in the regions, doing the work. Why? One of the things is he doesn't trust American agents. He just doesn't. He'd rather take a foreign power's word about a situation over an American's. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't think any of us ever will. And this book details also another incident. This time not with a foreign leader or anything like that. He's having a meeting with a lot of his own experts and foreign service operatives on the Korean Peninsula. And the book details how somebody basically lays out the entire Korean peninsula on a model that basically covers the entire coffee table or table there in the Oval Office. And they're showing him different things that lights up and this, that, or the other. They're doing whatever they can to keep his attention. And then they're telling about how Seoul, South Korea, capital South Korea, how close it is to the border, and how easy it would be for North Korea to just start bombing, and describing why we do things the way we do on the Korean Peninsula. Why we do the things we do as far as for foreign policy, how we react, how we do certain things. Any guesses on his reaction? If we believe this to be true, if it's true in any way, shape, or form, he gave an order to those agents that are in there in that meeting to move Seoul away from where it is now. A whole city. Now keep in mind, this city, Seoul, South Korea, is bigger than any U.S. city in our country. Bigger than L.A., bigger than New York, bigger than San Francisco, bigger than anyone. You could pretty much combine New York and L.A., and you pretty much got the size of Seoul, South Korea. His reaction was just pick up and move. No, yeah, let's just go ahead and relocate everybody. No. And according to the book, people didn't take him seriously. They thought he was joking. And then he repeated it. He was dead serious. This man is an idiot. Obviously, these people didn't do it. Thank goodness. But pay attention, folks. Pay attention. There was a federal court ruling that also came down. That's related why I got into this story here. Part of the last part of the news I want to cover. That covers the rule. Well, the basically the ruling was that the Trump administration would have to turn over whatever's in that secret server. Obviously, it's going to get appealed and it's going to go up and up. But there is a lawsuit out there, and he ruled against Trump. This judge, federal judge, is a Trump appointee, lifelong Republican, and ruled against Trump. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. Pay attention and find out what's going on. Talk to you later.